Hello everyone, I am Ashutosh Das from Dalmia Vidya Mandir Rajkampur. Today I am going to talk about George Lemaitre. George Lemaitre was born in 1894. When he was 9 years old, he decided to become both a priest and a scientist. First, he studied engineering in the Catholic Research University. But because of World War One, his studies got interrupted and he became a soldier. After the war, he switched to studying maths and physics and graduated in 1920. During these times, he started to think about the origin of our universe. After that, he became a priest 3 years later. He was fascinated by Einstein's theory of relativity, which stated that gravity could warp space as well as time. He did post-graduation in the University of Cambridge under astronomer Sir Arthur Eddington. He then went to Harvard and then um, got into a doctoral program in MIT. During his time in the US, Edwin Hubble discovered that Milky Way was not our universe, but in fact, there were many other galaxies like Milky Way. Astronomer Vestos Leifer noticed that the Andromeda galaxy was blue in compared to other galaxies which were red. He interpreted a redshift in which when light is coming more near us, the waves get squished and become blue. When it is getting away from us, the waves get red. This was interpreted in a static universe and that the galaxies were moving there. But Lemaitre interpreted this differently. He said that the universe was itself expanding, which led to the expansion, which led to the which led to the increase in the distance between the galaxies. But this also satisfied Einstein's theory of relativity. But Einstein himself did not want it to believe in a static universe, and so he came up with a cosmological science constant, which opposes gravity. But he ended up believing in a expanding universe after a long time and called the cosmological constant the greatest blunder of his life. Lemaitre went back to Europe in 1925 to study the Catholic University of Louvain. In 1927, he published his own findings about the expanding universe in French in a Belgian journal, but the world didn't pay much attention to it. 2 years later, in 1929, Edwin Hubble made his own findings, and the world paid a lot of attention to it. But but Lemaitre was but Lemaitre wasn't but Lemaitre did not mind that at Hubble got the fame for the work which he had already done, as Hubble had improved on his work. But 2 years later, he published his new findings, which stated that if the universe was expanding, then it definitely had a beginning, and that beginning was a primeval atom. Astronomer Sir Fred Hoyle coined the term Big Bang during a talk in the BBC. He and most of the other scientists thought that the Big Bang was nonsense, including Einstein. But after attending many seminars, Einstein was convinced by Lemaitre that the universe was expanding, that the universe began with a Big Bang. After his discovery, he got a Nobel Prize in Physics in 1954 for the Big Bang theory. He also got a Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1956 for his theory of the primeval atom. Almost a decade later, in 1964, American students Robert Wilson and Arno Penzias cos- discovered the cosmic microwave background radiation. This was leftover light from the Big Bang. Lemaitre lived to see that discovery, and his Big Bang theory was finally proved right. But sadly, he passed 2 years later in 1966. In 2008, the Hubble law was renamed to the Hubble-Lemaitre law in his honor. Thank you, everyone. I hope you liked my presentation. Have a good day.